Hello friends, I am Courtney. Welcome on here and happy Makeup Monday. Today I wanted to answer a question that I recently got about placement of your blush, bronzer, and your contour, because I know they kind of all go in the same area, so it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I wanted to walk through with you guys where exactly to place these products and why. So I'm going to be using my Saint palette today. And if you are interested in getting a color match with this makeup, I can personally color match you to the shades that I think would work great for your skin tone. I have been using and playing with this makeup for over 2 years now, and I'm just constantly learning new tips and tricks and changing the way that I use the products and do my makeup on the daily. So I am just teaching and sharing how I am using these products with you guys in hopes that I can help you with your makeup routine, making it easier and really just putting your best face forward. I just want you to have a routine that is easy for you to use, one that is really just enhancing your actual face instead of just covering it up, and it's something that it's easy for you to just kind of grab and go with. So if you want some help picking out some colors, I will gladly do that. But today I just wanted to break down and kind of show you guys what I'll be going through today. So I have a few of my contours here, obviously a few lip colors, and my bronzer here. So you can tell, just to kind of show you guys, I'm using some wonderful natural light here. Saskatchewan's staying a little bit lighter into the evenings here now, so we're going to get away with some natural light. So it really shows off the colors of these tints in my palettes. So this is all cream makeup. So my contours are these shades here, which are a little bit more what we call on the cooler end. And I've placed my bronzer here to actually compare. So you can see how this one is a little bit more red versus these tones here. So you can get the idea that these are a little bit more on the bluey greeny end, and then where our bronzer is nice and warm. So when we think of bronzer, we're thinking of bringing that warmth and glow into the skin, which is what it does. You can go ahead and use your bronzer. You can do like a whole wash of a bronzer on before you go in with your makeup, or you can use it at the end, which is what I'm going to do today. So when it comes to contour, obviously I will match you to some shades. I'm going to go in with Astoria today. I'm actually going to be using a little bit more of a pointed brush to kind of help you guys out as far as like placement. But when you're using a contour, you're going to notice that they're all creams, but the contour consistency is a little bit more like firmer and a little bit tackier. And this is just going to allow the product to kind of really stick to your skin a little bit more, say versus our like highlight creams or even your bronzer. So I am bringing this product right along my skin. It's almost like a little bit of like a stippling motion to get that product into your skin. So I'm feeling right where the point of my cheekbone is. Everybody has this pointy part of the cheekbone, so go ahead and feel your face. And I'm going to be actually hugging that product right into that part of my cheekbone and kind of running that along and stippling that in. And then I kind of blend as I go, so I'm just going to bring a little bit. I don't have anything left on my brush, so I'm just going to bring a little bit of that blending. You want to be careful not to blend down into your like hollow of your cheek area, or you're going to really bring your face down. You want to keep everything lifted. So this is a great place to start with, kind of the top of your ear, where you can actually feel that cheekbone come in, and just kind of press that contour right into your cheekbone there. And if you're noticing that your contour is looking red or like orangish, you can always go in and take kind of a cooler contour here. So this is shadow, and I really like to do a little bit of this just to give me that little bit more of an oomph. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that shadow, and you can just kind of see how that really just pops a little bit of that definition. So when we think of contour, we really think of adding shadows into the face, and so we're causing areas to kind of recede. So anything we add light and brightness to is going to bring forward those features, and anything we add these contour shades, which like mimic a natural shadow, is going to kind of cause that to recede or diminish. So by enhancing our natural shadows here, you can really see how I've like lifted that cheekbone a little bit, and I've really actually like defined my jawline here, so you can kind of compare the two side to side there. Another great place to bring your contour is kind of up into your hairline. I like to start from the back and bring it forward, just blending as I go. A good rule of thumb is like taking your fingers from the outside of your brow bone to your forehead, and anywhere outside that is just going to have a little bit of contour. This is personal preference as far as shape, but that's kind of a good marker to go by. It's just going to kind of recede that side of the forehead, and then of course you can bring it along your jawline if you want a little bit of contour there. You can see, here's a little tip for you. If you have a little bit of a jowl, you don't need to bring your contour past your jowl line, because you can see I already have that shadow there. So I'm just going to kind of shadow in what I already have there, kind of a little tip to the trade. And then of course don't forget to blend under there. Sometimes I forget that, and you don't want a little line when you're walking around town. I'm just going to kind of blend these edges out a little bit there for myself. So that is your contour, and yeah, I can help you pick a few shades that might work for you. If you enjoy mixing, you can definitely play around with that. Adding that little bit of a cooler contour on top of my Astoria really just chisels that even more, really making it look like an enhanced shadow. So then if we go into, oh, and this was the detail brush I was using. It's just using the pointed end to really be defined for you guys to see. The detail is really fun to get some of those precise contouring marks down. So next we're going to go into blush. This is the blend brush. I'm just going to take a little bit of my blush. So now blush can tend to be a little bit of a like trendy sort of application, but the good rule of thumb is to if you smile, we don't want to bring the, I can't really smile and talk at the same time. If you smile, we don't want to bring the blush right into like the front of your cheek. This is really going to make your face look just not as enhanced. So the idea is that we really want to enhance what you already have. So lots of times, and what I really like to do is if you smile and if you take a look at like the very high point of your cheek, that's where I kind of like to place my bulk of my blush. Now this being a little bit more in the front of the face is going to add some volume to your face, so I really like to do that, but not everybody does. Personal preference. Good rule of thumb is keeping your blush kind of outside your iris, or if you place 2 fingers beside your nose, keeping your blush outside of this area here. You don't want to bring it too far close to your nose, and you don't want to bring it too far down. And one of the trends right now is to really keep your blush on the outside, and that's actually really going to lift your face up. So if that's something that you're going for, you can do that as well, which is kind of what I'm going to do today. So I'm just going to kind of bring that blush onto the top of my cheekbone. I'm almost placing it right on top of my contour line there and kind of blending it back towards my temple. And you can tell it just adding a little bit of that life to the edge of my face here, and it's really kind of lifting that up. Some people will bring it up into their temple as well. That's where you can kind of really play around with preference, but this kind of the outside of your finger on the corner of your cheekbone is a really good rule of thumb there to add some of that brightness and life into your face. Just kind of blending out those edges a little bit there. And then kind of moving into bronzer. So I touched a little bit at the start. So our bronzer is a cream bronzer. We do have a few various shades that you can go with as far as skin tone wise. I'm just using Bella Bronzer today, which is kind of my go-to. And bronzer is really gonna just like we kind of always say, it's repetitive. It's gonna bring in that warmth and definition, kind of like you have that sun-kissed glow. So when we say that, that's kind of where you're going to put your bronzer, is where the sun would naturally kiss your face. And now the bronzer is a little bit more sheer of an application because of the formula it is, so it's going to be see-through. You're not going to get the coverage like you do with the contour and your blush, so it's going to be a lighter application. I will use a blush and bronzer brush. Sometimes people have a hard time getting control with the larger end, so you can always go in with the smaller end. I like the larger end. It gives me a little bit of a lighter application. So I'm just going to dust a little bit onto the top of my brush. You really don't need a whole lot, and I'm just going to bring it on the top of my forehead, and then I kind of run it into the top of my blush here on the outer corner of my face. So it almost kind of blends the two, your blush and your bronzer right in that corner there, it almost will kind of blend that together as well as add a little bit of that warmth. So I hope you can see on the camera how it's added some of that warmth and definition. And it's really just kind of warmed my face up. You can kind of see side to side comparing. It's giving me a little bit of that color. I also like to bring this down into my neck. Oftentimes once I get my makeup done, it's nice and like glowy and bronzy, and then I kind of lose that down in my neck. So you can always bring a little bit of that bronzer down here. So you can kind of see how it's adding that color without adding that coverage. I can still like see my skin through my makeup here, so to speak. So that is your walkthrough for your placement of your contour and why we put our contour there in our shadows to enhance those areas, get some recessing on our face with the dimension, using your blushes to really kind of lift and enhance your face. You don't want to bring anything too low. We really want to keep everything enhancing that nice cheekbone, which really is going to draw all your attention to the center of your face. And then you can warm up your skin with the bronzer, which is a super fun way to kind of transition into like your spring and summer as well. If you're finding your colors are a little bit too light or too dark, I can help you out with that. But this is where once you're kind of done all these layers, if you want to go in and use kind of like another blush color over top, you can even kind of pop that shade there a little bit as well, kind of make that look a little bit more defined for you. Just gonna blend that edge out a little bit. Got a little crazy there with the contour. Yeah, super fun. You can really play around with it. I hope this helps you with some of the basic placements and why. And once you kind of get these basics down, makeup can really be fun, and you can play around with the different trends and all that kind of stuff. But there is a rhyme to the reasoning and reasoning to the rhyme, whatever that saying is, for why we place these products where we do, and the purpose of each of them. So I hope this was helpful for you. And I know it was a quick video today, but that was kind of it. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.